Welcome to Painting of the Week. Today we are looking at the American artist Jasper Johns and his 1954 work entitled Flag. Johns was only 24 years old when he made this painting. And it's probable that you've seen this painting before or an iteration of this painting because Johns made many variations on this theme throughout his career. But even more so, it's possible you've seen this work because it's absolutely one of the most iconic works of art made in the post-war period, specifically in the United States. And it's not necessarily obvious why this work is so iconic, but we are going to briefly explore some of those reasons. So we're immediately confronted with a bit of a contradiction in this work, which is this a painted flag or is this a painting of a flag? i.e., is this an object or is this a representation of an object? And there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer here. Johns, for example, would have told us that it's both, which is kind of a bit of a juicy contradiction to begin with. But Johns wasn't necessarily revolutionary in this regard. 30-40 years earlier, the French artist Marcel Duchamp would have been playing a similar game where he would take a not art object and put it in an art context and kind of make us challenge our notions about what art is, what art isn't, why, and so forth. So we have the work really well situated at this first level of analysis, but for me, what makes it so much more profound is when we dig a little deeper and we realize that we all bring our own subjective baggage to this work of art. For example, you could look at this, you could think about cheeseburgers and fireworks and freedom, or you could look at it, you could think of empire, imperialism, you could think of BlackRock, you could think of Raytheon. These you know, the whole spectrum of emotions based on your own experiences and feelings could be elicited when you look at this work of art. So in that sense, the painting is really a mirror that, you know, you project on and it reflects back at you. And for me, I mean, it's just so successful and so profound and so deserving of its place in the contemporary art canon for this reason. And you have to imagine that this was painted in 1954. This was raising all sorts of profound questions, which might have kind of lost their profundity over time in our hyper-saturated, image-driven world. But this is very much deserving of its place and deserving of an episode, especially right now for some of these reasons. And there's a lot more that can be said about this. For example, how it was constructed, kind of the craftsmanship. It's created by putting encaustic, which is colored beeswax, over newspaper, which was pasted onto 3 separate panels. But for me, that's not really the point here. For me, this is a very successful conceptual piece that, again, feels really fitting to talk about right now. Thank you very much.